Welcome, beautiful souls, fellow starseeds, chosen ones, sovereign beings, sentient beings, whatever you refer to yourself as. I'm happy to have you here because today we're going to be talking about one of the things that may occur along your spiritual journey, and this is signs of psychic abilities or divine gifts. Yes, psychic abilities and divine gifts. And I need to preface this video by saying we all possess these innate psychic intuitive gifts, but for some of us, they're just lying dormant until we awaken or until we raise our consciousness or vibration, okay? So let's go ahead and dive right into this, because this is the video that I felt like I needed along my journey, and there were a lot of helpful people to confirm some of the things that I was experiencing. So the first one we're going to talk about is ringing in the ears. Now, I feel like I have to say this. I am not a doctor. I am not a medical professional. So if this is an issue you're dealing with, I do urge you to see your own primary care physician for diagnosis. I am not here to diagnose you. But what I will say from my own personal experience is my ear ringing began some years ago, and it has steadily increased as I've raised my vibration, as I've raised my level of consciousness. The ear ringing can be in the left ear sometimes or the right. Sometimes it comes in through both. Sometimes it's a very low vibration, almost like a hum, where I can hardly notice it at all. At other times, I've actually had a situation or an occurrence where it was so intense that it knocked me out of my equilibrium. And right after that happened, there was a loud crash outside of my building, and someone had crashed into a dumpster. No lie, the reason I normally record in nature is because it doesn't matter if I record outside or inside, noise just begins. It's almost like the Matrix is coming in to hide my messages from you. So that just means I'm on to something, okay? I do apologize for any background noise. It's hot today, so the window is open. Okay, so that occurrence was very clear to me that my ear ringing was for a specific reason. Sometimes it's your angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides communicating to you as a warning. Other times it can be kind of just a wake up to, hey, do you see where your emotions are right now? Is there a way for you to change this? Is this serving your greatest and highest good? Pay attention when the ear ringing comes along. It may not be an abrupt, obvious situation like the car crashing into the dumpster, but it could potentially be a warning or just a signal for you to pay attention to where your thoughts are at. Are you thinking negative at the time that it happens? Or are you surrounded by beautiful, positive energy that could be a pat on the back from the spirit guides, ancestors to keep going? Always use your own intuition to decipher these messages, okay? Now, that would also be referred to when we refer to psychic abilities as clairaudience, okay? Receiving messages through your ears. And with this, if you want me to break the different types of psychic abilities down further in another video, let me know down in the comments below, okay? But also with this clairaudience can come hearing your name very lightly in your ear, hearing music or just frequencies in general that other people can't hear. And maybe you ask your partner or your friend, do you hear that? And they don't hear it. You're not going crazy, okay? Animals, so they have that whistle that only animals can hear that frequency. And the more tapped in you are, the more likely you are to receive these downloads. Now, there are those different levels of psychic abilities, and for some, you may be experiencing just one of these on the list, and for others, it may be all of them or a few, so stay tuned. The next one I want to talk about is the one that a lot of us see on TV. It's the prophets, it's what we want to have, it's clairvoyance, the ability to see clearly, okay? Now, this can happen through vivid dreams, whether they be daydreams, premonitions of things to come, seeing things before they happen, or it can be in your night dreams or your morning dreams. I tend to get the most downloads while I'm sleeping, just before I wake up in the morning. Now, this can be seeing something before it happens, potentially a problem or a physical item that will be lost, and then the next day you talk to your mom or your brother or your sister and they lost said item, or they went through what you had just dreamt about. That is the ability to see things before they happen, clairvoyance. It's not always like, if you're from my generation, That's So Raven, where you just stop and receive this download out of nowhere. The only time I've ever had anything remotely similar to that was, like I said, when those ear ringing came in so heavy that it knocked me off my equilibrium. I actually like tipped over on the couch and then the crash happened outside. Other than that, those downloads don't necessarily come in like that. But if you have experienced things like that, where you just download visions, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know down in the comments below. Also, it's important to say that as you elevate in consciousness, the clairvoyance can also come through seeing those little flashes of light out of the corner of your eye, or you're pretty sure you saw someone standing there or just walk by. Once again, you are not crazy. That is you elevating in your spiritual consciousness. And there are many things going on around us in the other realms. And the more you awaken, the more you have the ability to see these things. And also, it depends on your level of fear. The more we relinquish fear, the more we're going to receive these downloads, because our spirit guides, our angels, our ancestors, God understands that we're ready to receive these things. Okay, so don't allow it to scare you. If anything, just make sure you're protecting your energy, whether that be through stones or smudging, saging your sacred space, saying affirmations aloud that you only allow high vibrational, positive energies into your space. Now the next one, this is for my empaths, okay? The ones who feel so deeply, my water signs, if you're into astrology, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Now you don't have to be one of those signs, but they tend to be these empaths, the people who feel to the deepest depths of their soul. This is feeling energies. You may be an energy reader, a tarot reader, or you experience phantom pains, as I like to call them. Sometimes when I have a pain in my body that I can't explain, where I know I didn't injure myself, it just doesn't make any sense, I'll call the people closest to me, and usually one of them are experiencing that pain, and I'm just picking up on it. The same thing happens with my mom. She'll call me like, hey, are you going through this? Because my insert body part is hurting. And I'm like, how'd you know, Mom? I'm on my cycle right now. Now, this is referred to as clairsentience, the ability to feel things. You can experience this very early on your journey, when you walk into a room and you can feel that someone has just talked about you, or you can tell someone just had an argument in that room. That is that ability to read energies. Maybe you walk into a room and instantly you can tell that someone in the room doesn't like you, okay? And they don't have to say it. You just feel the emotion. You can feel sadness. You empathize with other people and their pain. All right, and then we also have cognizance. This is knowing things without having any prior research or knowledge to it. So sometimes you may blurt out the answer to something or a medical term, and you're like, I never went to medical school. I've never researched this in this life. How in the world do I know this? And then you even go to Google to make sure, did I just say the right term? And sure enough, you did. Now, these downloads can come in many forms, through the ear ringing, through the dreams, but a lot of times it's already stored in our DNA, from our past lives, from our ancestors, from our lineage, okay? That's why it is so important to understand that everything you're searching for already exists within you. It's great to read, it's great to learn, of course, but everything you're searching for already exists in here. And as you unlock these different levels of consciousness, you also unlock with it ancient knowledge. This is that claircognizance. Now there are more, but I'm gonna end with this one, with these two. Clear smell. Maybe you smell the perfume that your passed on loved one used to wear all of the time. Maybe they smoked cigarettes and you don't, but you smell it heavy in your apartment. You smell their presence. You know that they're around you. So these psychic abilities are very much related to those 5 senses. However, a lot of psychic ability and divine gifts cannot be explained to just the physical world. It's more of a metaphysical experience, okay? Now, lastly, clairgustance. This one isn't very popular, very much talked about. I'm learning about it myself as I don't experience it at this time. But this is taste, the last of the 5 senses. If there's a negative energy or entity, you may get a sour taste in your mouth, much like when life gives you lemons. Whereas opposed to a positive energy or a positive experience, you'll have a sweet taste in your mouth of honey. If you experience any one of these, please let me know down in the comments below. I'm very interested in hearing from you. It's very nice as you're going through these things, whether you're a seasoned psychic, medium, etc., or you're new on your journey and some of this sounds crazy. It's just nice to know that you have your soul tribe and that what you're going through, you're not alone. Because chosen ones, if there's anything we understand, it's that this journey can be a dark night of the soul. It can feel very lonely as you're elevating in consciousness. So I greatly appreciate you staying to the end of this video. If it resonated, please do give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Turn on those notifications so that you know when I drop my next video. It really helps with the algorithm so that more starseeds can see these messages. Until next time, I am sending you divine protection, light, and love. Namaste.